skaters get cool nicknames.
We do sometimes.
Yeah, I saw as well. I mean, we can go through all of it now. I watched so many 2024 skate competitions this morning, especially also because it ties in with all the Olympics and everything happening.
Dude.
And there was one dude was dressed like all pads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then obviously clothing with it, right?
Yeah.
That was one look. Another dude came in like an office shirt and like baggy jeans.
Yeah. There's so many different styles out there. So it makes skateboarding so unique. You know, you get your old school type style skateboarder that still wants to like represent that part of history.
Yeah.
And it's like he still wants to keep that style because it favors him and it makes him feel comfortable. And some dudes just feel comfortable in like the new style.
Yeah.
And then they work with that, and it's like the new trend of today with like the pulled up pants, like the cut pants, and then you got the short shorts, and you got the below the knee shorts, and the list goes on, bro.
Yeah. There was, I don't know if you've seen it, there's an ad that Jason Momoa directed. And he's directed a whole lot of ads and shows, a whole bunch of stuff. And he talks on the culture of skating and why it influenced him as a kid. And he speaks on how it influenced his fashion.
He's into skating.
Oh, dude, big.
Yeah, I didn't.
And he's huge.
He is.
Yeah. So like seeing him skate, I was like, that's super promising.
You can't see him skating though.
Exactly. That's the thing. He's going to have this like
I'm like,
style.
okay, you love skating, but
How do you
see him skate?
Yeah. And he speaks on it. Influenced music,
That's right.
clothing, the way he spoke.
Yeah.
Everything, like the people he hung out with. So it is,
Love that, dude. Love that.
It's similar, out of my understanding, to like the culture that comes with surfing, right?
Yes.
You meet someone and you're like, oh, this person surfs.
That's awesome, dude.
Same with skating.
Yeah. Ice skating's not for everyone, and it can also be a part of their career today. Like, not necessarily is it their career to be a professional skateboarder, but skateboarding has probably entered your life somewhere at some point. Which is a really cool story to tell for anyone.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I once used to skate, and you guys that still tell you about their days when they used to skate.
Dude,
they have a story to tell, whether it's like the first time they got on a board, or when they fell, or like any competitions they entered. It's super rad.
There were people. I was watching the women's final for the Olympics today.
Dude,
there were people commenting saying that exact thing. Like, I used to skate. Last time I skated, this is so sick to see the women getting it. Like,
it's crazy how the Olympics brought it back for it to be seen today. Yeah, the skateboarding's always been there. It's just always been a cultural aspect. It's not so like as focused on of today. Like, now that it's in the Olympics, it's like you must get it like this. You have to do this trick. You got to get the highest there. Like, get out there, go do it. And dads are encouraging their kids to like
because now there's a pusher, right?
So because it's in the Olympics, it's so like it's also frowned upon, but it's also not, because it's like you want the newer generation to do well and to also be able to take it seriously as a sport. But then there's also like this whole like it's also not what it's about. Skateboarding, it's like, dude, it's about hanging out with your friends and like doing cool tricks and like going to the park and skating to the shops and back or whatever, you know. It's more like a community thing, and that's why it's so frowned upon, because it takes away from the originality of skateboarding.
Well, that's actually, let me interrupt quickly because I want to get carried away. That's actually what I wanted to get into, was the Olympics and your opinion and take on this whole thing.
100%.
Welcome back to Storytime, everyone. We're here today with Byron, Rhoda, South African skater and the owner of skatelessons.za.
That's me.
Fire. Thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, we've been fat in conversation this far already.
Yeah.
On that exact thing, the Olympics and the impact that it's having in skating.
Yeah.
You've mentioned there's obviously the culture, the history, what skating stands as.
Yeah.
And there'll be positives and negatives, right?
100%.
To it being integrated into the Olympics.
Yeah.
What are those positives and negatives to that?
Well, I'd say the reason being that exists of today is because skateboarding has just entered the Olympics, it's very new, and there's like this big crossover of like understanding that skateboarding is a part of the Olympics, and that the dudes who are still in skating today are not used to that idea of it being an Olympics, and it takes away from where skateboarding
the origin, right?
Of it. Yeah, like that fact that it's cultural, that it's so like it's frowned upon for many, but unfortunately it's the way the world works. We keep moving forward. To me, I personally I love it. I'm with it 100%.
Okay.
I think the Olympics is awesome. To be able to have skateboarding be at a new level as where it is today, we would have never foreseen that 10, 20 years ago. So this is awesome.
It's also pushing a lot of the skaters to develop not only the skill of skating, but also their image, right? Develop their own personal brand, which means other brands and companies are now looking at them going, we need to invest into these guys.
Yeah.
They're not just
new opportunities.
There you go.
All around the world. Not just for women, not just for men, but for females too.
For women as well.
Like the best thing.
Yeah.
Because, there was no women skaters from my generation growing up as a kid. Like, I would never see any, like one or two. And then now it's grown so much. And to be in a part of the Olympics shows you how much skateboarding has grown.
Yeah.
Since the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I feel like the world is starting to look at skating. Maybe a similar kind of thing happened with surfing, where it was surfing started getting taken more and more and more and more serious, and it started becoming more and more mainstream.
Yeah.
Over time, where it used to be like all the dudes off the jetty, going surfing. And there was also that I watched a whole documentary on the culture of surfing within LA.
Yeah.
How it bred out of there. And a lot of it was partnered into the skating community. The guys would literally skate to the beach, surf, skate home, and it became this environment that they bred.
You see.
And now it's happening to both, right?
That's super awesome. Yeah, that's how that's how everyone just comes together, to form this, you can, you don't even have to be friends with anybody, and you can just be a skateboarder, and you can meet that person through that piece of wood. It's like everyone, I've met 90% of my friends through a skateboard, which is crazy to me.
That's cool. That's cool. I dig that.
90%, I would say, positively 90%.
Yeah. I wanna get into how you found skating and how that became your life and career. But before I ask you on that, I want to thank Stance for being our partners on this episode, for bringing Byron in, for bringing me in, for making this happen. Thank you guys so much for being our partner in this episode. We love you guys.
Thanks, bros.
There's a gift for you. You don't have to open and go through it now if you don't want to. But I want to, because the last episode, I completely forgot to give the gift, and it happened at the end. So I want to do it early in. So early in that I remember to hand it over to you. So thank you for being there. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Sick.
Thank you as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Shout out Starts. Sick.
Lekker, man. Thank you. So
keep that right there.
On skating and it coming into your life and it becoming your career and it becoming your entire lifestyle.
Yeah.
How did it come to be that you found skating?
I was around 12 years old and playing around with my friends after school, and one of my friends in the small group that we had was about 5 or 6 of us, decided to bring his skateboard along with him, which he was like, actually he had it for a while. He didn't actually show us for like the longest time because he thought it would be lame to show us. So
really?
Yeah, and we were like, dude, bring it on. Bring it along. Yeah. And we can all like see what you can do. We're interested, you know. And then he came, brought his board.
It was like not cool at a stage.
Yeah, he thought it wasn't gonna. He thought that we would be embarrassed.
Yeah.
That he would be embarrassed to show his skateboard to us, and we're like, no, dude, just bring it along. We want to see what it's about because we know less than you do, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, brought his board with, and then dude, literally, I fell in love with it first moment he set foot on the board. He literally did a kickflip in front of us. I'm like, dude, let me try. So I tried his board. It's my friend Steven back in the day, many years ago. And I saw him do a kickflip, and I'm just like, dude, I want to do that. Tried it on his board, and I literally fell on my ass. Like, just stood on the board and slipped away. And I'm like, dude, it's not as easy as I thought it would be. Yeah. But immediately, I wanted to learn how to do it there and then. And I was like, Mom, buy me a skateboard.
Yeah, this is going to be everything. Yeah.
So I begged my mom. My mom's like, what are you on about? Yeah. Like, literally. And then my mom was like, speak to your dad. So I spent to my dad, and my dad's like,
usual. Speak to your mom.
Yeah. So my mom sends me to my dad, and then my dad eventually like showed me. He was like, cool. Well, next time we in the mall, you can show me. And we ended up in a mall, and then I showed him, and he was like, I can't afford this. I'm sorry. And then I was like, what? Dad, I need one. I went on about it, and because I went on about it so much, and he was like eventually just like, okay, fine, this is what you really want. So then he bought it for me, and I was fortunate enough to not get it for my birthday or for Christmas. I got it like
there you go.
On a random day, and it's like so chuffed. I was like so over the moon, and I immediately took my board and showed my friends, and it was like some cheap board, dude. It was like this thing that wasn't the greatest, but I mean, that's how we all start. You know?
Everyone starts. Yeah.
I wanted to get something as good as my friend's board because it was like better. It was like a birdhouse complete, and I'm like, dude, that was the biggest name back in the day.
That was.
Still is of today.
Yeah.
And I got my hands on a Flyboy. And I don't even know what the brand was. It was like some no-name brand, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna cherish this thing.
Yeah.
You know.
I only remember Blind, World Industries.
Yeah.
Birdhouse.
Yeah.
Birdhouse had that like red armor dude with the horns. That was like one of the faces of that brand. I just remember seeing that sticker.
I think that's Toy Machine.
Toy Machine.
Toy Machine, dude.
That was another one. Okay. Jeez, dude. And then it was like Etnies, DC Shoes.
Yeah.
That was like
been around for years, bro.
Ages,
dude.
And those were the brands that I like. You know, you were saying everyone or most people at some point have had skating integrated into their life in some way.
Yeah.
And I remember being in high school and thinking that like skating, I mean, I still do. I just can't do it.
There's core skate brands that always like was like skateboarding. It makes skateboarding stand out that much more because it's like those brands come from skateboarding. It's like the original skate brands.
Yeah.
Core skate brands.
Once you had your board and you're getting into it, and now your friends all into it, becoming your circles.
Yeah.
When did you decide to switch over to like, hey, I'm going to compete?
Well, on track, I had my skateboard at this point, and then I ended up joining my friend who had the skateboard, and the reason why I bought the skateboard. So we skated together, my friend Steven and I, in this small group that we had, and then two other friends of ours also bought their own skateboards, and then we ended up skating together and just learning tricks together. And we all stayed in the same complex together, believe it or not, like in Tableview. It was like many years back, 12 years old. And we're just trying to figure out all these tricks together. And then we started like sleeping over at each other's houses and actually just watching skate videos.
Oh, there you go.
And then we like try to learn these tricks together. And if one dude landed a trick, we had to figure it out with him.
Everyone wants to do that.
If another friend landed a trick, and then we would try and learn it together. And then that's how it got. But one dude always stood out. So
there always has to be one.
There was always one dude. And we were like, bro, you're getting so good, dude. Like, we need to catch up. And
there we
got better and better. And then, life goes on. And before we knew it, we kind of like drifted apart. Or our friend group kind of moved on, and we started staying in different areas. And at the time, my parents were going through some tough issues.
Okay.
And they got divorced when I was at a very young age, and that was affecting my focus time of what I wanted to really do in life, like where I wanted to be. And I didn't really know, because I'd still figure that out, for myself. And, I'm only 12, so like going into my own, it was like it was very difficult. Because I had my grandparents were around during this time, and unfortunately they passed away in the same household where we stayed together. When I was staying with my dad, we all stayed together in the same house, and my grandparents passed away in the same house, and I was there to see it happen. And it was like a very sad time. Affected me mentally. I had to see a psychologist, a psychiatrist at a very young age, 14, 15. I ended up getting custody over my mom got custody over me, and then I stayed with her. Dad kind of left the scene, and skateboarding was still around, and I kind of used that as like, I used that to channel my energy into skateboarding, I channeled that into skateboarding. I used that as fuel. And then that's where my skateboarding kind of got more serious. So not in a way that I knew where to take it, but in a way that I didn't. And that's where I kind of like just wanted to figure out where it could take me. Because I spent a lot of, it felt like at the time it was all I knew. I mean, I was going to school at this time, I was studying a lot, and I was doing all the, all the normal things in life.
Yeah, all the expected.
Yeah. And at the same time, skateboarding was on the side. And I was like, cool, well, you got no one to skate with, and then you're skating with, and then I was fortunate enough, when I was staying with my mom, after she had custody of me, I met a fellow skateboarder who was really good at the time. His name was Darren Jacoby. Dude, I thought this guy was like the world's best skater. And I watched him at a local post office in Tableview, just skating and doing tricks, and I'm like, who is this guy? I've never seen skateboarding so good in my life, live, and I was like, I want to skate like that. Because now I was able, I actually got a taste of like what skateboarding can be if I took it further and worked on it a bit more. Because I'm relying on watching these skate videos and with your friends who are also trying to figure it out. You don't really have much inspiration. So like watching Darren skate, it was like, wow, it was eye-opening.
That's how good I could be.
So then I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. That's where it clicked. Like watching dudes that were far at a higher level than I was to want to like take this further. And then I was like, that's where it clicked to like want to do this.
To want to go.
Kind of, I want to figure this out.
Take it.
Where I can take this.
It's what I find interesting about talking into cultures and environments like skating. Is that it doesn't just give you something to learn like as a physical skill and challenge you mentally as well to take on the stars. I mean, I still don't understand how when you do a trick, the board doesn't just go there and you go there. I genuinely don't understand the science of it. Like it blows my mind.
Physics.
It's weird. I don't know how that works. But there's like a sense of belonging that comes with it as well, because the culture is so strong. It kind of helps guide you into that this is the type of person you are. It provides you with a safe environment, provides you with a group of friends that become your family and your people, which you see in a lot of athletes, I want to say. That it kind of zones you in and gives you that sense of purpose and meaning for the future. Going into how good you are at skating, how do you overcome the mental side that comes with it, whether it be fear or it be doubt? I mean, you jumping how many flights of stairs? And like I kind of flip over and be able to do that.
You kind of, it's a confidence build up to like having to re-envision what you're trying to create in reality. So you picture it thousands of times in your mind, until you really believe that you're going to do it here and now because you've seen it in your mind.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, you work with that feeling, but you also like allow yourself to adapt to that feeling. You jump down the stairs like 2-3 times, but you don't have to land it. You don't have to commit.
But even that's terrifying.
That's terrifying.
Arguably more terrifying than actually just landing it and being okay. Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, for guys, well, for myself, I don't know how to do a trick like first try. Sometimes I get lucky. Otherwise, it's like, well, I mean, I won't say I don't get tricks first try. I would say like, it's the basics, the tricks that I know I can do first try, I do first try. That's because I've practiced it enough. But if I'm like working for something really hard in the streets and it's like, okay, I know I'm not going to get this first try, but now I have to build up the confidence and the courage to do it. What do I need to do? Okay, cool. So step 1 is to throw my body down the stairs 2 or 3 times and just like get your body to know what to expect first. And then basically fling the trick out and then study the trick in the air down the stairs while your body is adapting to the environment of the stairs. And then you'll like kind of work out what's like, again, it's physics, to work out how to land, when to catch it. You're in the point of like how much speed you need.
Yeah.
And then there's all these like other extra challenges where it's like the run up could be really rough or the landing could be really rough. And then you need to work on how are you going to react if you don't get it. You got to also take notes. There's so many things that go in your mind.
A lot of the time it's cars.
Yeah, there's so many distractions. There's cars, there's noise. There's could be someone walking by that gets in your way. There could be security chasing you. It's going to be so.
I'm going to ask you on that because that's a pain in the ass as well.
100%.
Yeah. So when you, because I'm literally trying to do the thing of envisioning this, right? If I had to put myself in this position, not that I think I ever will. But if I'm going to jump like 2 flights of stairs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have so much hang time, there's so much time in the air.
Yeah.
That when you in the air, do you have the time to see what the board is doing and make the conscious decision of like, now I should?
Well, it's like when someone's throwing you a rugby ball, or like someone's passing you a ball.
Yeah.
Right? You can see the ball, that's the focus, and then you're going to catch it, right? And it's the same thing as catching a board in the air. It's the same thing. But obviously
for you. Yeah. I don't see myself being able to do that, I'll be honest with you. That's insane.
But it's obviously not like catching a ball, but it's like catching it with your feet the same way as you would by catching a ball. Yeah.
It's the same as when like guys are
It's the same focus.
I understand that.
There we go.
I understand that part.
It's like the same focus.
I was telling you earlier, I was watching through a whole lot of different competitions this morning that I really want to ask you a lot of questions on. We'll get to.
Sick.
But I was watching the X Games of 2024, the SLS of 2024 as well, obviously leading into
Love it, dude.
All the Olympics.
Yeah.
And what fascinates me is that for the SLS competition, they would do a 45-second run, where they obviously do as many tricks as they can within the 45 seconds. And then they do like best trick.
Yeah.
And you've got 5 attempts, add up the points.
Yeah.
And then some homie wins in the end, right? Usually Nigel Houston. Usually.
Classic.
And the tricks that they can do where they'll have a run up, do a trick, land in a grind, and then leave the grind doing another trick. Blows my mind how they can think of like, because it's happening so much faster than you watching it on camera, right?
So doing so many tricks in a row
in one go.
It's
so
actually,
the board's flipping this way,
actually,
and they perfectly catching the tail of it. Then it's flipping out the other way.
Yeah, so many different tricks to
keep kind of strung together
one another.
Yeah,
it's like a train, but like,
of just difficultness. Yeah. So
everyone's got their own version of difficultness, but they train that routine so much that they're like so used to doing those tricks in a row. If you notice, there's a lot of dudes that don't do the same tricks. They're like master the tricks that they do. It's what makes them so unique. Like Ryan DeCenzo does like, he's got a bag of tricks. Everyone's got their bag of tricks that they use in a contest.
Okay.
And they practice those tricks so much that's what they do in a row, because they know that they can dial the routine of doing those tricks in a row so many times.
Okay.
So like myself, for an example, I got like my tray flips and I got my Smith grinds and my blunts, and those always be my go-tos in a contest.
Yeah.
And like putting those together in a run is not so challenging, but the best trick section is that when you got to really step out of your comfort zone and put down the harder tricks when it matters most.
Because the guys averagely are landing like maybe 2 or 3 out of the 5.
That's the risk,
but they're sending it every single trick. Like
sending it, dude.
What to you when you watch, especially modern day skating? Right?
Yeah.
Like watching that. Geez, if I think back to like high school when I was like reading Thrasher magazines, for example.
Yeah.
Like the tricks have come such a long way that now they're stringing 3-4 different things together in one go.
Yeah.
What is there anything that you've seen lately, or any person that you've seen lately that you've been like, that's gangster?
Well, Yuto, his trick of choice is way out of this world. He's throwing down NBDs, which is like never been done before.
Oh, really?
In a contest, which is like, it's like, how can you put that down in the finals of a contest?
Wow.
Like how much more of a risk do you want to take?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're the first person to ever. Yeah.
So like, just on point with putting so many tricks in a row, putting down so many tricks in a row in a contest. It's kind of like feel to leading up to the next trick. Because when you land the first trick, cool, now I'm going to do the next one. It's like, it hypes you up to do the next one. And it's like, if you notice, when so many guys, skate the finals of a contest, like Niger, Yuta, all the big names, and you watch these SLS events and X Games and Olympics, they put down a lot of tricks in a row when they're doing their lines.
Yeah.
Their 45-second runs.
Yes.
And then they put down a final trick at the end, which is like most probably down the big section.
Yes.
And it all leads up to that last section. It's like weird, right?
Yeah,
why would
circling
the hardest trick at the end?
There we go.
It's actually feel to do all the little tricks leading up to the last trick. So it's like, cool, I'm going to do the tray flip down the hip, which is like basic. I'm going to do the blunt down the small rail. I'm going to do the back tail on the quarter. And then it leads up to the big rail, and it's like, cool, now this is my hype to do the last trick when it matters most.
That's pretty cool.
It's actually pretty sick. I feel it every time I'm in a contest.
Really? You can feel that build up.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now it's go time. I've landed all these tricks in a row. Don't blow it. Like, do it. This is when you like, okay, now I'm going to go.
Pressure.
But you're so confident already because you've already like done all those tricks.
Yeah.
It's like, why not just end it with the last bang?
So are the guys starting there, you call that a line run?
It's 45-second.
The 45-second
runs. Yeah.
Are they planning, so before they even kick off and go?
It's not tricks that are just random that they're just deciding to do. It's practiced runs that they're doing in a run. Yeah, practice tricks that they're doing in a run.
Okay, so then they'll string them together as they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And how do the judges judge the run?
So they judge on style, difficulty of tricks, and then usage of the park. So you notice some dudes don't hit all the obstacles. It might downgrade them a bit. Some dudes who don't do all the flip tricks and they just touch rails, or some guys who just do flip tricks. Some guys who just do rails and don't do flip tricks, favors them here and there. So some guys get downgraded. You know, the scores are up and down.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Because I saw at the X Games one, what Nigel Houston kept doing in his 45-second run. They had like a combi that they took the roof into, like, and at the end of every run, he would do some trick up.
And no one else finished the combi.
No one else hit it, right?
Just W, bro.
So every time he landed, and it's pretty high.
Dude, that thing was
every time he lands off the other end, everyone cheers.
The compression when he landed off that combi, you could tell how high it was. Because he can take some serious impact.
Yeah.
And you saw the way he took the impact at the end. It was like, wow.
Yeah. And everyone was losing their shit.
Personally, I would hit that thing seriously because I love obstacles like that.
That's dope. Yeah.
Something leading to a drop. I'm a big drop skater, so I love
really?
big stairs.
There's like a title for it?
Not really.
Being like a drop skater, that's fire.
Yeah. You could say so.
Yeah.
You get like the tech guy who loves, like Jean-Marc is a tech guy, full on tech guy. Like he loves his ledgers, and then you get some dudes who love their quarter pipe tricks. I'm like an all-terrain vehicle.
That's badass. Okay.
Where it's like I actually try and skate everything, and it's cool because it's like I'm not just trying to stick to one thing.
Yeah.
But everyone's each to their own. Everyone has to stick to their own things and learn in and around that. Like there's some tricks that I wish I could do that that Niger does. It's like wow. So there's some tricks there's so many tricks that dudes do that makes skateboarding so unique to them.
Yeah.
That's why skateboarding.
So are there tricks that you watch and go like, I don't know how to do that?
Yeah, and I learn by watching them, or you just, search up videos, or you just watch local skaters, and you like learn from them. You skate together. Skating together is the best way to learn because you hype each other up.
Yeah.
That's the best way to learn. Yeah.
What for you has been your like biggest, can I call it, drop?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like all-terrain vehicle.
All-terrain vehicle.
Like, what's been the hardest terrain that you've had to hit that you can call?
It's okay. There's two. There's this stairs in Sea Point Library.
Sea Point Library.
The big red Sea Point Library stairs.
Okay.
Big red stairs going down. No, it's combated. It's like
that's
huge.
Big. Yeah.
Christy Vion, my local hero. Big fan. I've been a huge fan since day one. It's like my biggest inspo. I've been skating with him, and we rode together for the same company back in the day. Fortunate enough to also skate with him, and we're good friends. It's super cool. Yeah. But yeah, he hit the rail, and ever since I've seen him skate that spot, I was like, somebody's got to hit this thing again.
Yeah.
I grew up into my own, and started getting better at skating, and I always looked at that rail because I knew that he hit that rail, and I'm like, somebody's got to do this. Nobody has touched it since. I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I went to the rail, and I was fortunate enough to go 180 over the rail. So it was pretty sick. It's like 14 stairs. It's quite high.
Dude, that's very
it's a massive drop on the other side. But I mean, I was dealing with the run up, which is like bricks with gaps like this in between.
So you got that
zag,
yeah, you ride over.
Run up,
yeah,
pop, and then hope your board sticks to your feet, and then just
exactly. That's how I feel about it. Yeah,
and then just like drop down, and then hope that when your board is sticking to your feet, that you land down another digga.
Yeah, you got that again.
Again. And it's bigger this time. It was more like uneven. So, yeah.
How long do you have to stay on the board for to be like, that counts?
You got to stay on for like, I'd say 10, 15 seconds or ride.
Wow.
Quite far. Yeah, you got to like ride. I got pretty excited when I landed. So like I rode down and then I jumped off my board going.
Oh, understandably, right?
Yeah. And then I jumped off and I was like so pumped. Yeah.
What was the second one?
The big kickflip down the DSTV gap. We call it the DSTV gap. So it's right by the DSTV building in N1 City.
In N1 City?
N1 City shopping center. There's this big DSTV building right opposite N1 City. And there's this, we call it the loading bay for the DSTV building. So we just called it the DSTV gap. But it's an actual loading bay. It's like a ramp with a loading bay drop. So it's a ramp that goes up for trucks to reverse to offload their product.
I understand.
And the loading bay is like just a full drop into the bank. And back in the day, I used to skate there when I was a kid, and we used to skate into the bank, But there's like, as I got older, I went back there many years later, and I went back to the spot. I was like, wow, when else have I been here? It's so sick. And, I was fortunate enough to have 2 photographers with me at the time. So we were like, we can get some clips today,
Yeah.
So shooting some content, we were just winging it. We were spot hunting in the area, and we came across that spot. So we jumped out, checked out the spot. I'm like, is there anything else I could do at the spot? I mean, we used to skate into the bank as kids. And I jumped up the drop, and I looked, and you can actually skate it into the road. So instead of like the bank going up and there's a drop, you can skate off into the road. So gap right out into the road. It's kind of weird to explain.
I'm just hearing road,
but there's
immediately I'm like red flag.
Yeah, so it's like a double drop. It's pretty gnarly. It's about the height. It's a 1-story. It's like the height of.
Oh, that's very, very high.
So yeah, it's like a double story, but a single story, the height of the roof of a single story. Yeah, so it's like off a garage roof, basically. So off the side, and there's a rail facing me. It's like a black rail facing me. So if I bent down, I was like, and the run up, by the way, was like from here to, I would say, to that camera.
Literally just that.
That's it. Put down your board, and literally just fling. And at the end, you just saw nothing but just drop, dude. So I could see the road a little bit, but you didn't even know what you were kicking into. So, I mean, hey, I was 18 at the time, so young knees, eh?
I was about to say, my knees,
not young anymore,
yeah. Ears, if that was me.
During that time, I was like, just balls to the wall, dude.
That's badass, though. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's what I was pretty much well known for in my teenage years of my skate career. I was like
sending.
I was the sender down the drops and the stairs, and yeah, I still want to be that guy, and I still want to do those things, but my body kind of doesn't really keep up with me now. Dude.
Okay, so you got to balance it off on like the side.
Yeah. I'm starting to become more the tech guy lately.
Yeah, there you go. Just kind of transition over.
No,
it's like when surfers go from a shortboard to a longboard and they start cruising.
Yeah, well, it's not really my speciality, so it's kind of gives me a bit of a chance to work on those things. Yeah, so it's cool. So yeah, I'm an all-terrain vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. I like that, dude. What's been like? Speaking of big moments, right? Like in your career like that, in comp. What for you has stood out as like, that was badass, I took a chance and it paid off?
Wow, man. In a contest? There's been a few. There's a recent one in Pretoria at the Street Lines event. And that contest was pretty wild. And there's like this flat ground gap. Again, street league format where you get 2 45-second runs. So this is during the best trick section. So I took a chance and I was like, dude, I'm going to become a total wild card right now. And there's like this flat mani pad, like a manual pad. A manual pad is basically, just to explain short, it's like when guys jump onto a box and they ride on 2 wheels to balance and drop back down again. It's called a manual, and it's like a balance maneuver, okay?
Okay, a mani pad.
It's called a mani pad. So we call it a mani pad.
Dope.
Manual pad, mani pad for short.
I'm with you.
So
yeah, that's cool.
Wild card decides to jump over the whole thing.
Oh, just skip the whole mani part of the pad.
Yeah, Mr. Sender.
Okay.
So I choose the highest quarter in the park. Quarter pipe as in a transition ramp that goes all the way up in order to generate enough speed to clear this mani pad. And this mani pad is about 2 meters. No, 3 meters. Okay. 3 meters. I would say 3 of these. Yeah. So it's like super long. And I got to jump from the beginning. And if I clip it, I'm dead, dude. I'm flying with no...
Oh, dude, you just... I was like... the whole way.
And I made it, dude. I got it.
People must have.
I blew myself away. Yeah, they did. I was just blown away because I didn't think I could do it. At the same time, I was just like, I'm just gonna go for it.
Let's just see what happens on the other side of this thing.
I don't know. I gave myself, like, I stretched in the corner a little bit. I did a couple stretches. I'm like,
did some sketching.
I did some stretching, dude. And I was like, I think I got this, dude. I don't know what.
And you were the first to get it.
And I got it. Yeah, no one's ever done it. And I was like, and all the dudes propped me for it. Even the photographers, the local media were like, dude, that was crazy. And it blew me away. And something that stood out for me. And I was like, I didn't care about the contest. I really didn't.
No, you were like, I'm walking over just...
Dude, has anyone filmed that? Send me the video.
Yeah.
Winning.
Thank you. I'm going home.
Yeah.
How do they judge that? What about it?
I don't know how they judge it. But I don't know. I've always been curious about those type of maneuvers,
like a full sender.
Like a sender, in a contest.
Yeah.
Because usually nowadays it's about the most difficult trick done on the most gnarliest rail. And it's like, to me, that's rad. But I also really appreciate the sender once in a while.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like I'm a big fan of Ryan DeCenzo's type of skating, and he's also like a big sender type skating. So every time I see he's going for something, I'm like, hey, what's he gonna do? Yeah, like
that's cool.
Exciting, and that's what makes skateboarding so exciting at times, especially in contests.
Yeah,
when you're like just randomly become a wild card, and choose to do something out of the blue. Yeah.
It takes balls to decide to do that as well on the day.
Well, I knew I was coming short in some tricks. Like I made finals, but I like kind of blew my first 2 attempts.
Okay.
Of my, I've kind of like blew my first 2 best trick attempts.
And you were like,
and I was like,
might as well.
Let's send it over the mani pad.
That's what I got left. Yeah, go for it. What's on the same topic of question, except when it doesn't go the way you want? What for you has been your most memorable wipeout?
Memorable wipeout?
Yeah.
I think in my younger days, I had one where I tried to become a wild card again and send it down this little drop. And it was a little bit intimidating for me, but everyone was skating it. And I wanted to be one of those dudes that was skating it. And I was riding backwards and I was trying to fakey front side flip. It's kind of like blind side because you're rolling backwards and you're popping with your tail, but then you're also rotating in the air. It's
as if going forwards physics wasn't hard enough. Yeah, let's just do it the other way around.
So I was really... I'm pretty like consistent with that trick, and it's a good field trick for me. So I'm like, I'd rather prefer to do that trick. It's one that stood out for me that I was very comfortable with at the time.
Okay.
Especially at that contest. And when I tried it, I kind of came short, and I slammed on my head, like on the back of my head, and it like gave me a little bit of a concussion.
Oh, one of those like whips.
Yeah, like
where the head's the last to meet the ground. Yeah.
So that wasn't a really good one.
That's rough.
Yeah,
I saw that. I think it was Nigel Houston did that grinding.
Yeah, we all got stories to tell about.
Dude, his head hit the ground so hard that like I don't know how he got up again and then went and did it again.
Yeah,
he was like, I haven't landed it.
See, but that's what matters. Is like, don't just end it there. Get up and go again. That's where it's
probably
like
seeing like triple.
That's where you earn the real respect. That's where you earn the real respect. It's like, dude. Respect.
So there's that's just what's so cool about the culture of it, that there's respect that comes with not getting it as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows like, dude, that's terrifying.
Sometimes the battle is like way more rewarding than the actual trick, because it's like you know that you've given it your all, and because you didn't come out on top, sometimes it's okay to go like, it's okay, dude. I tried my best.
Yeah,
like you didn't walk away empty-handed. You knew that you like did it your all, but you know for next time.
Yeah.
But you don't give up there. You just come back and you try again. But in a contest, in that case, it's like fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that a lot in the guys watching all the comps this morning.
Yeah.
That the guys would just full send.
Yeah.
And not get it.
Yeah.
And immediately just get up and like thank the crowd and be like, hey, and the crowd understand the same, concept of like, he gave it everything he had.
Well, it really comes down to the nail in the coffin. It's like you got to do it when it matters most, and you got to put it all on the line.
Yeah.
So whether you get it or not, it's worth the risk. And some dudes just try to risk it and maybe a bit too much.
Yeah,
like the wild card dude.
There you go, like the mani pad dude. Yeah, I dig that. What have you ever had? Because you always watch this in movies, which is never a brilliant reference for any type of question. But the whole idea of like security and police liking skaters.
Yeah,
is that a real?
It is
part of the culture.
Yeah, it is. It's everywhere. It's worldwide. It's like it's just part of what we do. We annoy them. Unfortunately, we're the cockroaches on the street.
Okay,
they hate us. They'll chase us down the road with a baseball bat.
Have you been caught before? Like, I
haven't been handcuffed. I've heard stories of friends being handcuffed.
Hey?
Yeah, like just they've been cuffed up patrol for the cops to give them tickets. And in the US, I heard the cops sit them down and they actually like cuff them down, and then they wait for the cops to also get there, and then they just give them all fines of like.
What does the fine say?
get something crazy like $200 or something.
This like
like $200
was riding a skate.
Like, well, I mean, if you're in a school, like if you're skating a school or like you're in a private property, then you can get fines.
Fair.
I've actually been fined in Cape Town before skating on the street, not even doing tricks or skating a spot, just skating along the road. And there was this lady putting tickets on cars.
She was like, here's my opportunity.
Yeah, and stopped me and then like gave me a fine. I remember I just ripped it off her in the boots.
Like, it's Monday, let's hit the quota, fine this kid as well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just throw it away and then nothing comes of it. What would be, obviously you are the owner and runner of skatelessons.co.
Yeah.
How did that start?
That started through my love of skateboarding. During COVID, I unfortunately lost my job.
Okay.
I got retrenched working in a surf and skate store in a mall, in Table Bay Mall. And, you know, due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to close doors.
Shit.
And that was my time to kind of step out of my comfort zone and do something that I've never done before. And I thought, hey, like, I'm really good with kids. Like, I love chatting to kids, listening to their stories and getting their point of view, getting their, like, aspect of skating, what they think about skating, and like, just joining them on the session and just trying to do tricks with them, you know, and just sometimes I'll get the odd one questioning me about how to do a trick. And, you know, I get a few questions like, dude, like, where's your sponsors? Or I'll sit down with them and give them a little bit of a history lesson on skateboarding. You know?
Yeah, there we go.
And it's so cool. And that kind of like opened me up to wanting to teach.
Yeah.
And little did I know that I would actually be really good at not just being good with kids, but to actually pave the way for kids and set an example for them and just showing them what I've learned on the board and replicating it verbally and physically. And it's been a dream ever since. It's been really cool. Yeah. It's not just a passion, it's like a love, you know. That's so sick. And it's the joy and the expression it gives me. It's unexplainable. It's really cool.
It's cool because what you're providing to the kids makes me think of when you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
And like relying on skating, cool thing, right? And like as your safe space.
Yeah.
And now you're giving that to so many kids as well.
It's so amazing to give back. Being able to do that, it's like what I never thought I would be doing this today, you know. You asked me if I would be teaching kids 5 years ago, I would have said, dude, I'm not going to show some kid how to skate. Like, I'm not going to teach a kid how to skate. He's going to be able to teach himself, I'm sure. He's just going to have to learn the hard way, you know. He's going to take a couple slams and he's going to get back up and he's going to do it again. Like I learned, you know. You know, times have changed. You know, skateboarding's in the Olympics. So parents are encouraging their kids to skate, get on the board, and they're looking for coaches. And, you know, it's so cool to say that because when I was growing up as a skateboarder, there was none of that. There were no coaches, and now there are. And it's like, wow, that's so cool. And being able to say that I'm a coach, teaching to kids of today's generation, learning the tricks that that I was doing at their age is a dream come true. So it's unexplainable. Really is.
Do you teach adults?
I do.
Gangster, we're going to do
Yes.
I'm so in. I have to do a lesson with you. Do not pump for it. I'm going to fall on my ass literally the entire session.
Yeah.
And I'm going to arrive and be like, I'm going to kick slip today.
But expect to, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Yeah. No, that's exactly what I'm expecting.
There's a few students I teach that like try and avoid falling at all times. Like if they had it their way, they would bubble wrap themselves up.
Yeah.
Completely avoid skating. But unfortunately, skateboarding comes at a price. Skateboarding is risky, and unfortunately, you got to take the risk. It's like all sports, you know.
Yeah,
you get injured, even ping pong, you know.
That's yeah, there you go. Yeah, the ball moves fast. Yeah, there you go. Everything has a risk, right? There's just some bats flying all over the place. Yeah. No, don't, dude. I'm super keen.
Bat slip out of your hand.
You know, might be intentional. You aim for the enemy.
Yeah.
No, that's sick. We'll definitely come in for a lesson. I'm super keen.
Sick, bro.
We'll
that would be awesome.
Try to set that
anytime, bro.
Yeah. Thank you, man. But thank you for being
Anyone can learn. Anyone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
At any age too.
Yeah. You're going to do a lesson.
Nobody's too old to skate.
That's going to be dope. Yeah. We'll go and do lessons. Thank you for being here, dude.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for your insight and your stories. You're always welcome.
Dude.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Stance, as well.
Shout out to Stance, guys.
Yeah, shout out to all your sponsors as well.
Dude, thank you.
You've had a phenomenal career with incredible sponsors.
Thank you. I've been fortunate enough and blessed to still be sponsored till this day.
Sick, dude. Well done.
Yeah.